Welcome to a live Sunday night edition with the Andy Martens Show. We're live at 8:05 Eastern Daylight Time. We had a cool Sunday, Leah. Cool. Might even snow tomorrow night, but we won't talk about that. 2 to 3 centimeters of snow possible tomorrow night, but I want to keep it positive during this show. And it's going to be cool, but probably midweek we'll be able to get these temperatures more consistently. We have a video for you we want to show that was done by a local studio here in Sault Ste. Marie, and it kind of ties in with our topic tonight that people are getting frustrated. But, you know, my father always said you have to have staying power, whether it's in a marriage or whether it's in employment. And I don't see people having staying power with this issue. The government issued a stay-at-home order, and I just posted half an hour ago, Leah, I'm tired of these gatherings. I get the frustration. I'm taking more of a different point of view in this than Leah feels. But I'm tired of the gatherings. I'm tired of people not having the staying power, being able to deal with the reality in life, because your job, your employment, your marriage, it isn't always rosy. I was able to be at OLG for 31 years, and I'm still with the same woman after 37 years. So isn't this kind of like that, Leah, where people don't, it's tough, but you got to have the staying power to deal with it?
What do you mean the staying? I don't quite understand the question.
You have to have the staying power. Gatherings, we had a gathering in the beginning of April that caused a ton of close contact cases. And we've had breakouts in schools. We've had breakouts at Tim Horton. We've had breakouts in the seniors home on Bay Street. These gatherings, I get it. People are frustrated, but, you know, it causes problems for the whole community.
So you think that people should not gather?
Well, no, I think people shouldn't gather, not wear masks and all of that, because it's going to cause problems down the road. I don't care if it's outside. There'll be no social distancing. We saw a march in Toronto. I think you saw it on social media too this weekend. Nobody was wearing a mask there.
Andy, I guess this goes along with what we've been saying all this time, to be quite honest. You have to learn to live with this. It's not going away. So what is the purpose of the mask anyway? The purpose of the mask is control. And, you know, there's always going to be people who are not going to conform. There's always people who are not going to do as you are told and when you're told to do it. And you know what? The sad thing is that there are people who can't even gather with their support systems. They can't It's a human right. It's a human right to be able to move freely however you want. If people gather to celebrate a birthday or to celebrate a marriage, why is that so wrong? What's wrong with that? You can't encourage your local.
Well, but the government sets out the guidelines, Leah. You can't just have 100 people
you,
at a wedding right now because it's not in the
but
groove.
But again, okay, Andy, what are you going to? You're putting absolute faith into the government, and I'm sorry, but they're not. There's plenty of proof that they do not have your best.
No,
interest
no,
at
no.
heart.
I am
They
kind
don't
of.
care if you die or not. You know what? Your life is worth $300 of morphine to pump it into you so that you die. That is what your life is worth.
Now, look, I'm tired of it as much as anybody else, but this protesting, not wearing masks, not social distancing isn't going to get us out of this anytime sooner. It's going to prolong the issue.
Okay, Andy,
so they'll feel satisfied inside. Oh, I protested. But the regulations will still continue. A protest at Bellevue Park here in Sault Ste. Marie isn't going to suddenly magically change things.
So how is it that you expect people to show their opposition then? What does were you a member of a union, Andy?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
The OLG was never unionized.
So how do you think unions get their
Well, it was, but then they decertified it before I retired.
Okay, but again, how does your
there's our Danny from Australia. Hey, how are you?
So how is it that you get your point across then? What should
people do? You and I discussed that this afternoon. Where have unions been with even the healthcare? Unions haven't been
protesting. How is it that thousands of people all across the world can show their unity and how they are against what's going on if they can't protest?
Hey, you can protest, but it's not going to solve magically.
You're right. It's not going to solve the issue, but it's going to show that people aren't going to stand for this anymore. It's going to get the message across, and I think that's the whole point of it.
Well, yeah, but what kind of damage does it do to the community where you get the virus and you get the close contacts? There was a gathering beginning of April, so it caused us a lot of problems. A gathering in Garden River caused us problems and around Christmas, right?
Aw, did people get a runny nose?
Listen, Leah.
I'm so sorry for that.
No, let's not be laughing at this Indian variant here because look at all the problems it's causing in India. What do you say about that? Like people dying on the streets.
Did you see video evidence of that?
I did. We'll get that this week.
So cite your source. I'd really like to know where it came from. And
it's not a joke. You're getting India had 1 million cases of COVID-19 in 3 days.
No, joking aside, where did you get that information?
It's all over all the news sources are covering it. We'll get it for this coming week and show the viewers.
So again, you're feeding into what they're telling you, and that's my problem, and I'm sure that's a lot of people's problems. Is that there's now a variant. Well, okay, there's a variant to the flu. There's a variant to. I just would like to know because I'm not really seeing the evidence of what is going on. So there's an Indian variant, and so we're going to keep people away. And because there's a variant in India affecting those people, here we should be locked down, hiding in our basements, wearing a mask all the time with tears in our eyes. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, go about it smart. Go about social distance, wear your mask, and you don't pretend all of a sudden now in April of 2021 that life returns to normal because it isn't going to return to normal.
It really won't. There's a lot of people who think I'm going to get the vaccine and I'm going to
No, there's a woman that got it.
It's not going to happen.
You got the vaccine and you got the virus again. The vaccine isn't.
again, Andy, the burden of proof has to happen, though. Okay, you can't tell me that thousands of people are dying in India, but not tell me where the source is. What like
there's multiple sources. Google it, Leah. You'll find it. There's
again,
a fact.
is
There's
it
a
only
fact.
in
India
India?
has 1 million cases in 3 days. 320,000 cases a day.
But again, where are you getting that information?
Well, media sources. I don't have.
Media, because they don't lie to you.
You guys want to protest and you want to Disney World. You want to pretend that everything goes back to normal. It's not.
But Disney isn't in India, Andy. And you have to cite your source. I'm not buying it. And a lot of people aren't buying what's happening just because the media says so. The media also says that the sky is dark orange or the sky is, bright red and it's on fire. Are we all going to rent our houses again? This is ridiculous.
Leah, go to the grocery store. I want turn on your camera. Let's do it live. I want to see you go into Metro in this city without a mask on. You won't be able to do it.
If somebody has a medical condition, they should be allowed in Metro. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, Metro needs to be very careful what they say and who they say it to, because if you're going to turn away people simply because they're not wearing a mask because they have a medical condition that states that they can't, well then, hey, you can't. So that's called discrimination.
All right. Well, you guys are living in Never Never Land with these protests, but it is allowed and the police will not fine people. And I don't want to see another episode of like we saw near the Eaton Center in Toronto in Bellevue Park where people get ticketed and whatnot. But now that won't be happening. So I don't think there'll be more than 12 people showing up there like we had behind Station Mall, but I could be proven wrong. Anyway, let's get to the video. Enough of that.
Sure.
We have a video that was produced locally, and we'd like to show it to you. It's 13 minutes, but it's good viewing, and we'll be back on the other side of it.
Absolutely. All right, give me a second.
You got it there, or do you need a commercial to?
Nope, I've got it.
Okay.
Just give me a second here. I just make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. Yep. All right, perfect.
All right, here we go.
I want to say something to Kathleen Wynne. I'm coming. We will be ignored no longer. You seem to think that nothing exists north of Barrie. We're here, and I intend to make sure you hear us loud and clear. We have craved in Sault Ste. Marie change for 31 plus years. We've craved change, and I have said it, and I will say it again. It is not a question of if. It is a question of when, and the time is now.
This legislation causes me a great deal of difficulty. When I hear comments coming from the member from Vaughan and other members, it's really rich to hear that they're concerned about in Ontario. But when Bill 148 came out, no, there was no concern over Ontario there. When you increase hydro prices, there's no concern over there. When you refuse to do anything to help the people of Ontario and the business of Ontario thrive, have an opportunity for success, no care whatsoever.
For the longest time, I've had conversations with people, and I'm sure you've had the same ones. Boy, I'm glad I'm living in Canada. I'm glad I'm not in the United States over the last year. Keep that in mind while you see this. This was Jake Tapper on CNN yesterday.
Canada is now outpacing the United States in terms of coronavirus cases per capita. This is a concerning uptick.
Even though the dire predictions were there, no government acted for decades on the vaccine rollout.
Yeah, it's a real failure by the Trudeau government, and our Canadian cousins deserve a lot better.
For the longest period in this crisis, I can tell you I'm in cabinet for approximately 3+ hours every single day, And I think what we all now can see is we could see that light at the end of the tunnel, or we could see the finish line, and we're approaching that. And that's just a testament to the amazing work that's been done.
I've never shied away from telling you the brutal, honest truth. Never shied away from tough decisions. And today, I'm here to do just that. My friends, we're losing the battle between the variants and vaccines. The pace of our vaccine supply has not kept up with the spread of the new COVID variants.
With our hospital system experiencing devastating pressures as a result of sharp upward trends in hospitalization, this is a critical moment in Ontario's response to this deadly virus. And every single person in Ontario has an important role in protecting our communities. Unfortunately, some people continue to attend gatherings and leave their homes for non-essential reasons. As a government, it is our responsibility to take action to address non-compliance and prevent further transmission of COVID-19. I cannot stress this enough. We know that stay-at-home orders work. We've seen their success in slowing down the spread of the virus and saving lives. That is why, effective April 19th at 12:01 a.m., we are restricting travel into Ontario from the provinces of Ontario.
The Ford government is hoping its lockdown measures flatten the latest curve, but unfortunately it's a tough financial pill to swallow for restaurant and bar owners.
Toronto's The Granite Brewery was ready to make the best of it. Spent thousands on heaters for their big outdoor patio, and then the rug was pulled out. A lockdown.
Disappointed, to say the least. I don't say we're a scapegoat, but I think let's just say we're an easy target for people that are trying to appear like they're doing something.
Restaurants aren't alone. Other small businesses, such as florists and clothing stores, feel they're being targeted unfairly, since big box stores are open and are selling more than just essential goods.
To shut down small businesses that serve a handful of customers in an entire day, while allowing those same products to be sold at Costco and Walmart, makes no sense at all.
Ontario's premier is not asking the big stores to cordon off non-essential goods. They can sell whatever they have.
After speaking to some of the big box stores, it'd be a logistical nightmare. They have essential items spread out throughout their whole store, and I know this is not fair. And that's why we put an additional $300 million in to support small businesses.
A month and a half ago, some people knew what it might do.
Yeah.
And not a lot of our elected officials we were opening up patios.
Hello, everyone. I am your local MPP, Ross Romano, and I want to speak with you a little bit about what I love about Sault Ste. Marie. We live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, nestled in the center of the Great Lakes, with picturesque landscapes made famous by the group of seven. And we are home to some of the most incredible people, like the first female Canadian ever to fly in outer space, and people who have won Stanley Cups and Olympic gold medals, and people who have shaped and will continue to shape the future of our city, our province, and our country. And perhaps my favorite thing about Sault Ste. Marie is that when we are challenged with a problem, we have an incredible ability to always come together to overcome any obstacle, no matter the size.
I am a bar and restaurant who has applied for this support grant back in January that still has an under review status. I'm on the brink of elimination. We just had a national shutdown. I need this thing to go through, and I don't understand what the holdup is and why it's taking 4 months. This is not lightning quick, like the government promised.
I apologize for that. Unfortunately, due to the high volume of applications, there is an extreme backlog. So Service Ontario added the feature on the website to check your status at any time. But all applicants will receive that final email, whether you are approved or not eligible.
How backlogged is it? Because my business is going to be shut down in less than 5 days. Like, this is...
I don't know. We don't, like I said, we don't have a time frame.
But these businesses are literally like going down by the wayside. This 20 grand or whatever this support grant is vital. So like, this is just unacceptable that it's taking this long. Like, where do I go to get an answer to that?
This is where you go through. This is the process.
We're just seeing the restaurants and the personal care sector being really affected. So everything else is still allowed to be open. So I don't know what great effect this is going to have, but it has a really damning effect on our business.
We've literally only been open a month. We didn't open when all the other bars and restaurants opened. We gave it an extra couple of weeks.
With food and beverage stock at pre-lockdown levels, both business owners are now tasked with using it up before the shutdown tonight. Caputo says she's disappointed in the area's local MPP.
And I understand I'm not a medical professional, nor is he, but I feel like he really could have gone to bat for us for this regional approach to have stayed in effect.
Laurentian hit such dire financial straits that 2 months ago it became the first university in the country ever to seek creditor protection from the courts. Now it is shutting down programs and laying off professors like Nadia Varelli, who says she was blindsided political science was cut.
Only because political science is one of the oldest disciplines in the social sciences. So there's a lot of confusion, of anger, and a lot of hurt.
I'm here today to talk about the attack that has been launched against public institution in Ontario. The dismantlement of Laurentian University is an act of national vandalism of the likes of which we've never seen. For people to understand how important Laurentian is, you have to really understand the 60 years that went into building that institution. It is the only public institution in the country with a mandate to support Francophone, Indigenous, and the working class Anglophone communities from the northern regions that never had access to education on the post-secondary level before.
It's an opportunity for Doug Ford, Ross Romano, the minister, to step in, to halt this process, or to provide a backstop of funding so that it doesn't just come down to dollars and cents at the end of the day. And they failed Sudbury, they failed Northern Ontario.
Mr. West, you just did a name drop. Ross Romano, Sue MPP, also the Minister of Colleges and Universities. Have you had a conversation with him? Did you run into him in the hall? What did you say? What did he say?
Minister Romano has not been to Queen's Park since we returned after in 2021. That could be because of the cohorting, but I haven't seen him and I've been here regularly. We reached out to his office. He hasn't replied. We sent letters last summer in June and July. He hadn't replied to those. The only contact I've had is what I've seen in the newspaper, where he admitted to knowing 6 months before the CCA process had started, being aware of Laurentian's problems, but I haven't spoken to him since then.
You cannot treat a public institution like a university or a hospital or any other public institution as though it were just some mine that went bankrupt and you're going to sell off the assets. The destruction of the programs at Laurentian will have impacts for the coming decades.
We know that the way we deliver education must change in a post-COVID world. We look at how we have delivered education. You've heard me say this before, and I will say it many, many times again. We know that our advanced education, research, and science innovation sector in Ontario is among the very best in the world, known worldwide for its excellence. But through the process of COVID, we have learned that there are some areas that we can improve upon. And we want to build on the lessons learned.
In all, 69 programs, including 1/3 of undergraduate programs, are being closed, from music to environmental studies. 34 English language programs are out, as well as 24 French language programs, and 11 graduate programs for master's degrees are being discontinued. Caitlin Kotala has been a student for 4 years.
It's a heartbreaking announcement when you're told that something that you've worked so hard for is being ripped away from you at no fault of your own.
I am calling on Justin Trudeau, who I remember Justin Trudeau holding a cabinet retreat at Laurentian and talking about how great it was that all the cabinet ministers shared the bunks in the dorms at Laurentian. Where is he now?
I am so proud to call Sault Ste. Marie my home, and I know that you feel the same way too. So please visit www.i-heart-ssm.ca and help us spread the word about what you love about Sault Ste. Marie. And it was about finding a fiscally sustainable way for us to find a path to balance, but it was doing it in a fashion that was going to protect what matters most to the people of Ontario, Northern Ontario, and Sault Ste. Marie. You've heard the Premier say before that we were able to successfully transition over 100 1,000 examinations for courses online in a matter of weeks to ensure student success. And I cannot underscore how important our faculty across all of Ontario has been in ensuring that that could be done. So to our faculty, I offer you my greatest thanks. For those who know me and those who have been really involved in this campaign, you'll know that I sometimes can be a little bit of a micromanager. Sometimes I can be a little bit of a difficult person to work with.
The new progressive conservative MPP versus
Thank you.
Your mic is muted again.
I know. That was a very well-produced video. Your thoughts? Does that sound like a sincere MPP to you?
No. Where has Ross Romano been? He hasn't been in he's proud to be from Sault Ste. Marie. Where the heck is he?
Well, his wife is in Sudbury, so
but
the
where
man.
I don't care about where his wife is. Where is
I don't know. That's what I've
the
been
MPP.
asking. I've been asking that for 3 years, but it sounds like I'm not alone. He hasn't returned a lot of calls from people. And I want to remind viewers that Ross Romano barely won this riding in 2018. He won by 45 votes. Michelle McLeave Kennedy, who ran for the NDP, almost beat him. I remember being at another media outlet that night, and Michelle McLeave Kennedy was leading during the night there for a good period of time. So she is running again for the NDP in June of 2022. But, you know, you have to answer to yourself that some people are just not cut out for politics.
That's right. That's right. And some people are just not. And I really hope that the right person gets in next because, you know, I don't really think everybody just kind of pandered to what Ross Romano said and applauded what he said and all of that. And that's great. And he certainly said the right thing. But again, it's all about being lied to because it's just, what are you going to say to, you know, get the votes? And that's all.
Ross Romano was a yes man to the premier. He's one of these guys that didn't say anything, didn't fight for the people of Sault Ste. Marie. He certainly won't do it now because he's seen quite a few MPPs being expelled from caucus, being expelled from cabinet. So this is what you get in Sault Ste. Marie. And the people of this city are going to have to decide, is that what they want for another 4 years?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It really, really is. It's very unfortunate.
You know, so I'm almost at the point where another political party, it's not everything you want, but at least it's somebody that will return your call, deal with your issues. And I've seen the NDP around. I've interviewed several NDP MPPs, and I'll tell you, they get things done a lot quicker than Ross Romano does. And case in point of Michael Mehta, who's the Algoma Manitoulin MPP. He's been on my show several times, and they get things done. So how can a community have this patience for an MPP who doesn't return the calls?
We just don't. People are running out of patience. They're running out of patience.
There's, of course, the other problem with the long-term, the withdrawal facility, that's gone on deaf ears. So this is not what MPPs are elected for. This isn't the self-interest elitist group where you get paid $100,000 plus a year and you sit there and you benefit yourself and a few of your elitist friends. That's not what public office is about, municipally, provincially, and federally.
Yeah, exactly. It's not at all.
And we're going to call them out more next year. You can believe it. So our time is running out. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. We're back live on Sunday, April 25th, and the month is going quickly. We're back live with Leah Frost, and 8:35 p.m. We have a great new lineup here on the show this week. Starting this week, your Honda Meg hour at 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and then the Andy Martin Show will come on at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So in our remaining moments, my final thoughts are, this is the second video on the Ross Romano that I've seen, and we've seen all the negative with Premier Ford. This is a real dangerous position for politicians to be in and the government to be in 13 months out of an election. I know you don't know politics as well as I do. I've been involved with it a lot longer, but you wouldn't want to be when the electorate is cranky and not happy, like we're seeing. People want to protest at Bellevue Park this coming week on Friday. This is not good for the government in power, because they might win a football game 24-0 right now, but in 13 months, they may lose it 26-24. And we're seeing some dangerous signs that, are happening right now. Your final thoughts, Leah?
My final thought is, everyone continue to stand up, continue to protest if you want to, because at the end of the day, we have to remember that they work for us. The government works for us, and we have to make our voices heard. And this is the only way that it's going to happen.
My co-host is a rebel without cause, like with that movie a long time ago before you were born. You're a rebel at heart, Leah. I know you are.
Yeah, of course.
You like to buck the system. You're not happy with what is set on the table. Did you say to your mother when you were growing up, "Mom, I don't like potatoes. I don't like corn"? You bucked the meal, or
No, I really didn't. Because my mother was a strong, independent woman, and I was a strong, independent. I am a strong, independent.
You are very independent and strong. You don't take the garbage you don't take the garbage that anybody feeds you.
No, I've learned rather quickly in life that you have to stand on your own 2 feet and you have to depend on yourself. Whatever may come, but you got to make sure that you have a plan to land on your own 2 feet, because the only person in life that you can depend on is you.
That's right. So if Leah gets enough nerve to go to Bellevue Park, we will broadcast it live right here. I'm not going, but Leah, if she can go, we will broadcast it here live.
Andy's afraid to go.
No. Somebody needs to be here. I'm waiting for my green screen. No,
Yeah.
look.
Right.
It doesn't change anything.
Andy, I will go if I can. I do have to work. Unfortunately, that is, I have to take care of the people of Sault Ste. Marie, and I do it wholeheartedly. Thank you very much. Anybody who has been my patient is very happy with my service and have no complaints. So
let me ask you this before we go. What changed? We've gone at this 13 months. Why now? Why is the protesting happening now when we've endured it for 13 months?
Because everybody was so compliant for 13 months. And you know what? We were told all the time, oh, well, it's just another week. It's just another month. They kept moving the goalposts back. And that is not acceptable. People are tired of the lies. They're tired of the smoke and mirrors that is what's going on. Anybody who got the vaccine, great for you. And I hope that you're happy with your decision. And I really hope you don't get any adverse reactions. But at the end of the day, people are done with the lying. They're done with the smoke and mirrors, Andy. They're sick of it.
No, on that part, I will agree with you. I got to agree with you on something that we're about 4,000 cases a day. And I really don't see the way what we're doing now with the Indian variant and other things going on. But one thing though, well, I'll finish my thought here. 4,000 cases. I don't really see that changing much before the next. We were supposed to have a stay-at-home order until May the 20th. I don't see that changing much. But Sudbury is doing well. They were at about 263 cases a day. Their number, now they're down to 93. So...
Melanie, please message Andy and have a chat with him, because he doesn't believe
these rebels are coming to get me.
That's right.
All these independent women. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. And again, your Honda Mega Hour will be on at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll see you tomorrow.